Hi, my name's Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa.
And I've been unemployed for the past year.
Okay, wow. Hi. I really don't know how to intro this video besides uh, the first scene you saw. But hi, welcome or welcome back. If you are completely new here, new to me, new to this channel, welcome. I usually, like 90% of the time, make videos about fashion. That's kind of my thing. And I pretty much all the time don't ever really talk about my personal life. But I wanted to make this video for several reasons. One, because I know I am not the only person going through a situation like this or similar to this. And I wanted to let anyone watching this video know that you are not alone, that times are kind of tough right now. And to offer some kind of solidarity, because even though I know other people like me exist, I don't really see or hear about them. And so I wanted to be that person for you watching this to let you know that I see you. We're on the same page right now. And if you are a regular watcher to this channel, welcome back. This is going to be a vast departure from everything I have ever uploaded before. But I wanted there to be a purpose. I wanted to lend my voice to the void that is the internet, to let people know what my experience has been like, what I've been going through, what I've been feeling, to share all of this. And I hope it is helpful and useful to at least one person out there, because like I said, we're living in some weird times, and any kind of bonding we can share is welcome. But to give you a little bit of context and to give you the briefest summary I can about my background and my situation, I have a bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising. Hence, all of my content thus far has been about fashion. It's what I love. However, that's not what my real job has been. My real job, my big girl job. I got into technology several years ago, kind of happenstance. More specifically, I am a Salesforce admin. For those of you who don't know who Salesforce is, I don't blame you. I literally had no idea what the software was or the kind of software it was before I got into it. And I'm actually not going to explain it. If you're curious, you can look it up. But it's very popular. And for reasons I will go into later, it is not only popular as a software for companies and people to use, but it's also a popular job for people to get into. Hence, me getting into it without having like any training or education or degree in technology. I was able to get several years of experience in a Salesforce admin position before I was laid off, which was at the time of filming this, coming up on 1 full year of being unemployed. So almost 12 months of not working, and coming up on this 1 year mark, which, to be completely honest, is longer than I was expecting to not be employed. But I wanted to do a bit of a reflection on what this past year has been like. And so I have some notes typed out in my phone that I wanted to go through. I wanted to share my thoughts. These are in no particular order, so we're just going to get straight into it. We're also going to pause because I need some water before we get started. Yes. Even though this isn't about fashion, I still need to make sure I look good. Hello. Again, these are in no particular order. I kind of just put them down as they came into my brain, but this is the list of things I've learned whilst being unemployed. Number 1, I am worth more than my job and how much money I make, even though I feel like a useless sack of muscle and bones. Verbatim from my phone. Yes, it was throughout this year, it has been like going through the 7 stages of grief. Is it 7? Something like that. It's been like the 7 stages of grief. First, it was shock because it was incredibly unexpected. And I was let go, not fired. They just cut my position. Anger and frustration, I guess. I wouldn't say elation so much. That's a bit strong. But I would say maybe contentment. And then now kind of like sadness, circling back to frustration and a little bit of panic. So it took me a long time to wrap my head around the fact that I'm not working, I'm not making any money, and realizing that I am worth more than those things, that I have worth outside of the job I have, how much money I make. I can contribute more to my relationships, like my romantic relationship, my platonic relationships, my familial relationships. I can contribute more than just what I do and how much money I make. I can contribute as an individual, as a human being. It took me a long time to get over my identity as being my job, as being a number on a paycheck that I bring home. You know what I'm saying? But this segues me into my second point, which is that I am still valuable as a family member with my own defining traits and characteristics and my own abilities outside of a monetized job. I am a daughter and a sister. I'm a partner. I am a friend. I'm a dog mom. I still have characteristics and personality traits outside of my job. Boiling down the first and second point to relearning my identity outside of my work, basically. I am still a full, well-rounded individual outside of work for compensation or a job. And again, trying to decouple my sense of self-value and self-worth outside of how much money I make or can make. It took a long time to separate those two identities and to convince myself. And I'm still working on convincing myself, especially now, a year out, that I am worth more than the money I make and the money I bring home and the money I contribute to a romantic partnership, a long-term romantic partnership, and trying to get over the guilt of that I'm still working on has also been a long journey. But we'll get into that later, I think. But then number 3, and this is a huge one that I know so many people out there can relate to. I am tired, nay, exhausted of applying and interviewing to jobs and then subsequently getting rejected from those jobs. Because it's not like I've just been sitting on my ass doing nothing. I have been applying to jobs. But obviously, a year later, I still haven't gotten one of those jobs. And I've applied to a lot of jobs. But let me circle back to finishing my point number 3. I'm tired of applying and interviewing to jobs and getting rejected. Yes, that's part 1. But then part 2, I'm tired of this economy and this job market. And part 3, 3C, if you will, the tech industry is broken and bloated. Let's pick apart each of these subpoints. Yes, like I mentioned, I have applied to, in the year I've been unemployed, dozens of jobs, truly dozens and dozens of jobs. It could be 100 jobs by now. I have for the entire process and have only recently stopped using it. I've been using a spreadsheet to keep track of all of the jobs I've been applying to. So I have like line by line each of the jobs I have applied to, and it's a lot. I haven't counted it up in a long time, but it's a lot. And I would go through waves of applications. I would find a bunch and then apply to all of them, wait to hear back, and I would get tired of the application process and then stop and wait for the responses. They'd all be no's and rejections. So then I would do it again. I would find a bunch, apply to all of them, and then go through the process again. But I'm tired of it. I have gotten a lot of interviews, don't get me wrong. I have gotten a lot of interviews, but competition is steep, which is part of my 3C point. But also the interview process, and this is also kind of part of 3C, is so long. A lot of the times it's multiple interviews with multiple people in the company. And it's just very time consuming. It's tiring, and having to do so many is just, what's the opposite of encouraging? Not discouraging. I'm losing my brain cells. What's the opposite? It's discouraging. Is that the word? Discourage. I think it is. Okay, please ignore me. But going through that whole process is very discouraging. Job after job after job, rejection after rejection after rejection, whether it's straight out of the gate or after multiple interviews have been completed. You know what I'm saying? Part 3B is that I'm tired of this economy and of this job market. I read an article recently that said it's so hard to find a job, especially for recent college graduates, because, well, one, the economy is shit right now, but then also two, I think we kind of got over the wave of the Great Resignation around pandemic time. And as pendulums swing, as they always do, but then as they very often do, they swing so hard from one side to the other. So we had the Great Resignation, in which everybody quit their jobs. They're like, fuck this, fuck you, corporation, company, job, employer. I'm leaving, peace out, bye. And there was a huge need for people to fill those roles. We are now in the complete opposite side of that. No one is quitting their jobs. No one is leaving their jobs. Old people also just aren't retiring. So those jobs that would naturally open up aren't. And so there is no need to fill and no need to hire for those roles. And that's what the article said. People just aren't leaving their jobs anymore. They want job security, which I completely understand in these economic trying times. But then that means that when there are so many people looking for jobs, there aren't that many jobs to apply to. Paradoxically, I will say, with what I do, and this is going to segue us into part 3C, because Salesforce is such a huge application, because it's used by so many companies, there are so many Salesforce admin and the like jobs available to apply for. I will admit that. However, there are 10 times the number of people trying to apply for those jobs. Me being one of them. And it is also discouraging seeing jobs, especially through LinkedIn, when it has the stats on the listing, the number of people who have applied for the job. It's like 200 plus people have applied. 100 plus people have clicked apply. And I'm like, yeah, I can throw my hat in the ring, but realistically, when I have at least a 1 in 100 chance of even getting an interview, let alone getting the job itself, what's the point? Again, it could really only be described as very discouraging seeing how many other people exactly like me or better who are applying to this same job. And again, that segues me into 3C, the tech industry. The tech industry is broken right now. My boyfriend is also in the tech industry. He's a software engineer. He actually got a degree in what he does. He got a software engineering degree. So he's qualified to do what he does. But even he has felt the effects of the extremely oversaturated and bloated tech industry, and how hard it is for even him, who has a bachelor's degree and has years of experience, in trying to find another job. For a long time, we were sold this idea that tech was the future. For any of you who have been in school for the past maybe like 10 to 15 years, especially the past maybe like 10, everyone was like, technology, it's the new thing. You better get into it. There's job stability. It pays really well. Coding, get into coding. Everyone needs to learn coding now. And a lot of people listened. And so a lot of people got into the tech industry. It is also admittedly very low barrier to entry. That's how I got into it in my very extremely niche part of the tech industry as a whole. The barrier to entry can be really low for this huge tech world. My brother got into it, even he's in IT specifically, but you can just learn it on your own. That's how I did it. You can get certified. That's how I did it. That's how my brother did it. So when everyone was hearing, you need to get into technology because it is safe and it pays a lot of money, everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people were like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. And so there are so many people like myself, I am one of them, don't get me wrong, who are vying for all of the same positions, not even taking into account the massive layoffs that have been happening across the board, but especially in the huge companies like FANG. I refuse to call it Mang. FANG is Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google. Changed to Mang because Facebook changed to Meta. Or huge layoffs from Microsoft or from these other huge tech companies. It's just creating so much more competition. So when you have people who already have years of experience being laid off, coupled with a bunch of these new people coming into the industry, it creates an oversaturation when there are fewer and fewer jobs available to apply to. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. There is just a huge amount of competition because I feel like we were sold this false dream, and as the world changes, there are also changing priorities. So again, not to harp on this point more and more, it's just less opportunities available for people like me and many, many other people like me who are searching for jobs and applying to jobs and then getting rejected from those jobs. But then number 4, finally moving on. My number 4 is I really want to win the lottery. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure can solve a lot of my problems that make me unhappy. Yeah. My boyfriend once asked me fairly recently, I would say, don't you get tired or bored of being at home doing nothing all day? And he genuinely didn't mean anything like it. He's just a busybody, whereas I am a do nothing body. And I will get into this later, but I have my own things to keep me busy during the day. Yes, I apply to jobs. Yes, I study to further my education, to open up more opportunities for myself. But there's only so much of that I can do during the day every day. So then I do other things like my hobbies. And I told him, no. Like if money wasn't an option, I would love to just hobby all the time. Yeah, I would feel maybe a little bit restless, but if I didn't have to worry about money, and I know this is the case for like 95% of the people watching this, but if money really wasn't an object, or if like my boyfriend was a multimillionaire who could support me and him and our dog, then I would be fine. Then I wouldn't feel as guilty. There would still be a small but significant portion of me that would want to work for my own sake of working, because I do find value in working. But I would also be content to stay at home most of the time, or do my own thing most of the time, do the things that I like to do most of the time. But that's not the case. So I will say, yeah, I wish I could win the lottery. I wish I could have some money fall into my lap and take care of my financial problems, or set myself up for the future financially, not have to worry about having a job. You know what I'm saying? All of those things. Okay? And while I say money can't buy happiness, again, I say the money, though, would take care of a lot of the problems in my life that do make me unhappy. You know what I'm saying? But this then partially, kind of, segues me into my point number 5, which is that I am extremely, immeasurably grateful for my family, for my partner, for my friends, and the other people in my life who make up my support system. Without them keeping me company, checking up on me, supporting me emotionally and financially, it literally cannot be put into words. I don't know where I would be or what I'd be doing. I would be 100 times more panicked than I am now. A year is a long time, just in general, but then also it's a long time to be unemployed. It's a long time to not be making money when that is extremely important in this capitalist society. It's a long time to feel like you're floundering. It's a long time to feel like you not only have no purpose, but you feel like almost a burden. I am extremely grateful for my partner for being so understanding and for having a job also. I'm extremely grateful that he's making money while I am not making money right now. I'm grateful for my family, my parents, and I'm grateful for them not making me feel bad about being unemployed. Yes, there's only so much I can do about it. I can apply to the jobs, but I am grateful for their love and their support every single day. Gosh, I'm getting emotional. But without them, life would be a lot worse. To be completely honest, life would be much, much worse. And so I'm so lucky, so grateful and thankful for every single one of those people in my life. But then to move on, my number 6 is hobbies are a balm for the soul. As I mentioned earlier, when my boyfriend asked, "Don't you get bored?" And I say, no. For the most part, I don't get bored. There is always something for me to do, to pick up. I have a long list of hobbies to choose from, to work on, I guess you could say. So no. For the most part, no. There are times when I feel like, oh, what do I feel like doing today? I don't know. And so it'd be nice to have the structure of a regular job, like a regular 9-to-5 job, to give me the structure, to force me to do something. But I have filled 90% of my time with my various hobbies. Let me read them out to you, because it's a lot. And what's the word? I have my pick of the litter, basically. Okay, so what are my hobbies? Again, they're numerous. Reading. I have, especially this year, gotten really, really back into reading. I love me some books, especially fantasy. Crocheting, as we have seen previously on his channel. Painting, a hobby, but not something I do so much. Sewing, which you guys have also seen I've gotten into recently, much more time-consuming and difficult than any of the other hobbies I have mentioned and will be mentioning, but fun and very rewarding. Gaming, I almost exclusively now play Stardew Valley, and that is the reason why in the latter half of last year, I wasn't reading, because I was gaming. But I also love Pokemon. Here are my two categories for gaming. It's Pokemon and something cozy. I feel like I'm missing a hobby. But then the last thing I put on here, which is not a hobby per se, it's more like something that I have to do and that fills my time, is a wedding planning. Not mine. No. My sister. My sister is getting married. The wedding is next year in 2026. And I, as her maid of honor, but then also just in general as her sister, am taking on a lot of the wedding planner duties. So all of those things are taking up all of my time. Anyways, so yes, getting into hobbies has really helped me keep my sanity. Basically, if I didn't have my hobbies, I genuinely don't know what I would do.
Okay, I just finished filming the entirety of this video, but there was one more thing I wanted to mention that I forgot that kind of ties into the whole hobby thing. With this YouTube channel, for the year I've been unemployed, I also haven't really been that regular or that consistent with uploading, even though I had the time to do so, and I would have loved to utilize the time to do so, but it's not because I was lazy or that I didn't have any ideas. There were just, or are, other extenuating circumstances in my life that prevent me from being really regular. Alas, here we are. But that's one more thing I wanted to say. It's something I wanted to say to defend myself, because I feel like there are so many people who could fire back at this whole video saying, why are you being so lazy? Why are you just sitting on your butt and doing nothing? But again, there's really only so much I can do. There's really only so much anyone can do to do anything. But yeah, that's just one more thing I wanted to add. Back to the regular part of this video.
Going off of my list for a second, I will also say going to the gym has also helped immeasurably. To get deep into this, but quickly, because I know this is a very long video, going to the gym or exercise in any fashion has helped me also keep my sanity. I don't consider exercise a hobby because I don't find it enjoyable. Okay, I go because I know it's good for me, and the guilt of not going is what gets me to go. All of that to say is, exercise has been really helpful. It has given me another purpose. It has given me one more thing to do during my day. It has helped me keep up my physical health, which is so important. And it makes me feel good about myself. Knowing that I'm doing something good and something healthy for my body is also enough to, it makes me feel like I'm doing something productive, that I am looking after my physical health, which is also very important. But anyways, the seventh and last thing on my list of things I've learned from being unemployed for a year is that this is one stop on the journey of my whole life. This is not the end. This is not the end all be all. This is one blip that is not going to last forever. I will eventually get a job. Who knows how long it's going to take or how much longer it's going to take, but it will happen. Feeling this kind of restlessness, this feeling like I am not settled, that I am not truly where I need to be. I am not truly where I belong. That feeling, though, I'm excited to get out of that feeling. I need to remind myself that this 1 year in the entire span of my life, if anything, because I have the means to do so, I should enjoy it. Take this time to slow down. I have the entire rest of my life to get back into the rat race that is working, and that is capitalism. And that's fine. This is not a life-defining moment. There is more to my life than this. I have many years, many decades to look forward to. And so I need to make peace with that, you know? But anyways, this has been a very long, rambly video. It's going to be very difficult paring all of this down. And this has also been a video completely out of left field from anything I've ever done or posted before. I really just wanted to lend my voice to anyone who wants to hear it or needs to hear it, that times are tough, man, okay? Being unemployed is tough, for lack of a better word. To boil it all down very simplistically and shallowly into one word, but it is tough. It's tough and stressful and frustrating, especially now. Trying to get out of the situation of being unemployed is also tough and stressful and frustrating. But I want to let you know, you watching this, whether you are in this similar or same position or not, that I'm also here. I'm also here, unemployed. I'm also here feeling all of those emotions I just mentioned. And I'm also here struggling. And so I see you, I hear you, I understand you. You are not the only one. And that's really all I wanted to let you know. Knowing you're not alone is also, or can be, very helpful. This isn't the end. This isn't going to last forever. Trust me, this is not going to last forever. And I'm telling you that as much as I am myself that. I am also telling myself this isn't going to last forever. But anyways, this is truly the end of the video. Like I said, this is so long. Oh my goodness. If you have stuck this far, thank you. And we're just going to end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time with a fashion video. Bye.